What is up, Mets fans? Welcome back to another episode of the Mets'd Up podcast. Pretty terrible series against the Blue Jays. I mean, this is what's going to happen the rest of the year. The 2026 season's over. It's shocking me that there's still people getting upset watching this team. I have fully gone into future mode right now. Everything our owner said in a podcast kind of told us that we should be thinking about the future. Everything our president of baseball operations seems to tell us that we should be thinking about the future. So that's how I'm looking at it for the rest of the season. What are we looking at with these players? How are they doing? And there was some good. There was some bad. There's, of course, things to talk about. Before we get going into it, make sure you guys are subscribed to Mets'd Up over on YouTube. And if you're listening to us, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, drops a rating, drops a review, download, subscribe. Big shout out to all you guys, too. Loved the EC3 live watch-along. Shout out to Chris Hamblin. We love you. Saw that he sang the Star-Spangled Banner at a Royals game. Unbelievable stuff. Electric content. Hopefully we get to make more of it. But talking baseball here a little bit. 10, 15 minutes, not too much again. Some crazy stuff going on, and I think we have to start with how horrible Freddie Peralta was yet again.
Miserable, dreadful. There's not even enough superlatives right now to describe how bad Freddie Peralta is. I mean, statistically, he's one of the worst pitchers in baseball. His ERA is almost 5. Again, not a huge ERA podcast, but when you look at that, to this point, he's been one of the least effective pitchers in baseball. And then you watch this start, and you see the first 3 hitters of the game reach and a run coming home, where he has 2 of those hitters in a 2-strike situation, cannot put them away. He got, I think, afraid of his changeup. He missed a changeup to Nathan Lucas, and then threw 6 more pitches in that bat that got fouled off, just missed. Didn't even mess around with another changeup to him. Couldn't put him away. Later in the horrible 4-run, barrage in the 3rd inning, all with 2 outs, mind you. He then missed a 2-strike curveball to Ernie Clement, and then threw him a fastball in the zone. There's a pitcher right now who is completely shattered confidence. None whatsoever.
I can't believe how bad he continues to be. Because
unfathomable.
I thought he got better after the last start, and we saw the velo tick up again at times in this one. He's throwing harder, and yet it's not making any sort of difference. He just, with 2 strikes, he completely chokes up. With 2 outs in the inning, he can't get through it. Every single opportunity where you would think, as a pitcher, you're in the driver's seat. This is where you should be getting fat. This is where you should be salivating. Freddie Peralta seemingly crumbles every single time, and I don't know if he's ever going to be a big game pitcher in a big market like he's supposed to be.
And that's probably a reductive way to look at this, but at the same time, you watch it and you're like, how is this real? How is this happening? But this also seems like it's been a problem with this whole Mets team this year. Right now, live, I'm pulling up the ERA of pitchers with 2 outs. That's something that our friend of the podcast, Matt Eddy, put us on to as we were watching the game today, how bad Freddie's been with 2 outs. If I look at the highest ERAs with 2 outs leaderboard, again, reductive way to go about this, but right at the top, I see David Peterson, Tobias Myers, both inside the top 10. And if you ask me that, Christian Scott also is in the top 30. So if you would have asked me that, I'd been like, yeah, that kind of feels like it's anecdotally, supported in my mind. And now I'm just going to quick name search Freddie. It's going to be way higher after this. But Freddie Peralta has nearly a 5 ERA with 2 outs.
That's unfathomable.
There's just no way. And it only comes with 226 batting average, but that's with a 350 on base percentage. That's how he gets walks and nibbles with 2 outs. And this is going to be worse, much worse after today.
Yeah, because he just can't seem to stop the bleeding, even though there was no bleeding until there was. It's just a complete mess. And I feel like the worst part about this is, I think anybody around the league telling you that his trade value hasn't gone down is lying to you. 100%. If you're a team around the league watching him pitch, this is not the Freddie Peralta that we saw coming into the season. This is not the Freddie Peralta you could have even expected for a little bit. This has been the worst version of him that he's been basically since he was a rookie. I don't know what his trade value is going to look like right now, just because this is not a playoff pitcher for a team that's competing for a championship down the line.
It probably isn't, but at the same time, last year.
It's a good 3.
Last year, Shane Bieber got a borderline top 100 prospect, and he hadn't pitched in a year. And the last time he pitched, he wasn't even good.
Okay.
He was going through a massive minor league rehab stint. I think that's something. I think if teams are looking at Freddie Peralta, they're going to look at the forensics of Freddie Peralta and how can we fix. And one of the most worrisome things is how much shorter Freddie Peralta's extension is this year. He's lost a quarter foot of extension.
That's a lot.
That's a ton. That's something that kind of always made him great, and at the same time,
arm slot too, right?
His arm slot is way down, and then we've seen these big velocity gradients. Then you have the slight worry about injury. That's the thing that could really be detrimental to his trade value. I'm not exactly, again, last year the starting pitching market, it didn't matter. As long as you had a heartbeat, a pulse, and you could throw a pitch, not even tomorrow, as long as you could throw a pitch by the postseason, a team wanted you. Because that's the Shane Bieber, Merrill Kelly, that was it. So I think he still does have tremendous trade value. I agree with you that's less, but I will not say it's none.
I mean, it's probably a borderline top 100 guy. That's probably the max, right?
Probably, yeah, maybe a little better than that. Borderline top 100 guy and a lottery ticket. Maybe a guy, someone in the 80s and a lottery ticket.
I feel like if you're the Mets, you're hoping that he has a good start on his next one. You try to ship him out as soon as you possibly can.
Just any way we can get Pedro Ramirez off the Cubs. That's the only.
I
That's
don't
the
think
guy.
that's happening.
It's the guy by far I want the most in all baseball. That seems to make a little bit. And they're desperate. They just gave us a second-round pick for David Peterson. Come on.
That's a good point. That's a good point. I like
keep
hearing
it
that. Yeah,
think
keep
about
it positive.
Think about that curve for a second. But again, like it's just. It feels, I mean, those physical things I just mentioned, those are real. The major velocity bands peaked in this game, 99 miles per hour.
Yes.
Fastball min was 91.9. Can't have this. And he didn't throw a slider. And this wasn't the heaviest left-handed lineup by the Blue Jays either. I think maybe sometimes the curveball and the slider tagging gets a little mixed up, but that was Freddie's bread and butter for a very long time. And the fact that it's just completely disappeared is not, it just doesn't make me feel nice.
No, it's concerning to see him pitch this poorly, but it's not going to pitch for us very much longer, so I guess it doesn't really matter how poorly he pitches, honestly.
I'm looking at some of these other two. I can't wait till this updates tomorrow and I can check this out. But these other 2-strike stats. Highest ERA in baseball with 2 strikes. Try and guess the pitcher and the number.
The pitcher and the number.
Just throw them out there.
Give me Jake Irvin and 8-3.
8-3. This with 2 strikes. Don't you remember the foolish baseball fan?
Oh, with 2 strikes? I thought you said 2 outs.
No, 2 strikes. 2
2 strikes. Okay, so who can't strike anybody out? I don't know. Still give me Jake Irvin and give me his ERA is a 3.9.
Jake Irvin actually is slightly better than average. Again,
wow, okay.
Dumps that. Yeah, he's actually in between Christian Scott and Spencer Miles, who the Mets just saw today.
Spencer Miles looked nice.
Yeah, Spencer Miles has a little bit of stuff. It is Andrew Painter.
That also makes sense.
But it's only 178. 2 strikes is a pretty amazing
okay.
spot.
All right.
But somehow hitters have a 312 on base percentage against Andrew Painter with 2 strikes. And somehow that's not
Freddie.
Somehow it's not even the worst in the league. Freddie's is better. Again, it'll be worse after we get these updates. Freddie before the game, it's a 182, 255, 318 triple slash with a 1.05 ERA with 2 strikes. And those are all bad, but they're not like the worst in the league. And the way Fangraph sets this up is a minimum of 20 innings.
That's not bad.
Yeah. So again, it's fine. Again, it is bad, but
yeah, it's bad. It's just
bad.
It doesn't actually really matter. And then Cionel Perez giving up a home run to Miles Straw was really like make me fall to my knees moment. How do you give up a home run? How does he have 3 home runs, Miles Straw?
Miles Straw is swinging it a little bit, but that was also because I think Joey Gerber had either a hangnail or a blister, and he had to come out like 2 pitches into the inning. The whole thing is just. Also, Joey Gerber had been encouraging me slightly lately.
Yes.
I like his color, and then he's like, oh, finger, got to come out of the game. That was as I began to listen to the show with John Heyman and Joel Sherman. I was really starting to get into that.
That's going to be the big talking point.
This series just sucked. It's just what bad teams do. You go into Toronto, a team that lost 6 games in a row at home, and you lose the series.
Lindor's swinging it well.
Of course, he's going to be fine. He's going to wind up being fine. Bo Bichette's going to wind. Oh, can we talk about Bo Bichette for a second?
The crying?
Yes.
I hated it.
I definitely also hated it. I tried
to have like a Eric Chavez take here, like a real Eric Chavez take. That was some real fucking soft loser shit. I can't handle that.
That was openly a player who
hates being here.
Realized they made a mistake.
Yeah, big time. Realized they made a mistake and how good he had it. I think it's really nice if you're a Blue Jays fan to see Bo Bichette react like that. Damn, he really loved playing here. As a Met fan, it's kind of fuck you a little bit.
Yeah, this whole season doesn't exist to me as well, I guess. Yeah. But we also don't even know what the pretext was. Did Bo even get offered the contract by the Blue Jays? What that contract even looked like? It kind of seemed like they were motivated to move on. Also, it was nice to see him interact with the old teammates. Vladdy was take your helmet off, give a curtain call, and then even the second game of the series, I've never ever seen back-to-back days there be curtain calls for a visiting player where
almost
Kevin
won
Gausman.
A World Series.
He did. And again, I think they give him a lot of credit for that, and I also think that's where most of the crying came from. Honestly,
probably, yeah.
I think being the last time I played a baseball game on this field, it was the worst moment of my life.
Best and worst.
yeah, the home run off Shohei was probably the peak of Bo Bichette's entire career. And again, nothing that he did to stop that game, but there was some bulky knees coming around third base. He couldn't. The whole crazy World Series.
Hated that clip though. Absolutely hated it too. Sent it to you. Used some different words.
Yeah, but it's because it's just there's a player who you can see. And again, I don't think this is bleeding into his play. He's been one of the most productive players in baseball for 30 days now.
Yes, yeah.
And he's playing great defense at third base. Had a great series defensively here. He's going to wind up having fine stats by the end of the season. Totally. But it's just, it seems like he may be wishing that his home was still somewhere else.
Is he opting out at the end of the year?
I think honestly, maybe.
I think he is. I'm very much leaning. I'm 75% yes.
I'm starting to push there mentally too, just because the way he's playing third base, he looks like he could. It looks like if you squint, he's a plus defensive third baseman, which is amazing. If we would have said that early in the season, how this all wound up, but
unlike Freddie, I feel like that was the biggest question mark coming into the season for Bo was could he play another position? He's shown that he can play third base completely fine, and I think people don't think the hitting is as sticky as his defense is sticky. So a down year offensive maybe costs him a couple $1 million a year, but I don't think it changes the market. If anything, it's going to be better than it was because he can play third.
And a down year offensively, I feel like by the end of the season, we're looking at like a 270, 320,
760.
Yeah, 760 OPS kind of slash line. I was trying to do math there, and it just wasn't working in my brain. As a plus third baseman, like that, the David Stearns vision of him being like a 3-5 win player is going to wind up being totally true.
It's just the Mets suck.
If we got good Bo Bichette in the first quarter of the season and good Freddie Peralta in the next quarter of the season, this team again would be near 500. But those things did not happen.
No, they can't match up at the same time. Other thing to talk about from the games too, just bigger conversation. The Juan Soto defensive play almost immediately after we mentioned how he hasn't been that bad in the outfield.
The Juan Soto defensive play, and then AJ Ewing doing his best to try and save the day and just kicking the ball. That's
Yoenis Cespedes, Michael Conforto flashbacks.
I've never seen. This is going to be Tim Kirchin for a second. I've never seen a 36-year-old inside the park home run where when they crossed home plate, the ball was still in the outfield.
Yeah, it was crazy how not even close the Mets were to getting George Springer, who looked like he was going to pass out after he turned first base.
And the worst part is you lose because of that run. Like, it felt like it was going to be a game where you got run out of the ballpark, and then you literally lost because of that play.
Yeah, no, it was that one hurt. And then the Lindor error, freaking out with Andy Green. Thoughts, opinions on that real quick? Because, again, when we talk about the show, I guess we will talk about Lindor and Soto a little bit more.
Because we have to, because it was addressed by the team owner again. But, yeah, we had some conversations off air about that, and, like, talking to some people who kind of have more been in those situations about the heat of competition, kind of costing your teammate an opportunity to get through an inning, and that's basically what Lindor did to Sherman and I there. It was probably more, and it didn't manifest itself in the right way. But much more frustration seemed like with Francisco Lindor himself than the decision being made. But it did come off as being a bit insubordinate and a little bit bratty.
I also think that, Lindor has to do a better job of keeping his emotions in check there. And we have seen him every once in a while, especially when things are not going well for the team and himself. He will have these little bursts. We saw it early in the season in 2024 when he argued with an umpire, which we'd never seen before and went ballistic.
Slammed the glove on the ground.
Slammed the glove on the ground. We've seen him scream at Jeff McNeil. There definitely are moments where the bursts come out. Could have handled it better, but I do think very much, obviously, knowing the context of what was going on, that was not angry at Andy Green. That was more like, please let him finish. It was my fault, not his.
Yes. And again, didn't manifest in the right way, but came from the right place.
Which is now going to lead into talking about the show by Joel Sherman and John Heyman. No live watch of this one this time.
I feel like some of the people were like, "Oh, can you guys do this more often?" Hard to. Again, I think we will get back to the games. I still want to talk about Nolan McLean a little bit, and then I do eventually want to talk about that ninth inning, watching Ronnie Mauricio, Mark Vientos try to hit Louis Varland. But the big story in the Mets world right now is the show.
People, dehydration sucks. Quince electrolyte stick packs to the rescue. I order them. I use them all of the time.
Listen, as somebody who may or may not have had some adult beverages in their life, the next day, you know what flavor I like? Watermelon. And I don't like watermelon, I'll go raspberry. And it helps me to get my citrus salt in. But if I do, it helps me to get back to normal, feeling good, and ready to go the next day.
Yep, tough workout or dry mouth in the morning, whatever it is, this is going to help you out. Quince always has the best deals for you. You can go on their website and see a number of products. We're talking about not only a product that tastes great, but has zero sugar options that are also stevia free. Give your body what it really needs to stay hydrated. Go to quince.com/foul for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/FOUL for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/foul. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
The show is the show. It's John Heyman, Joel Sherman, and they had Steve Cohen on. And I even think the concept of that is fascinating in this whole context because 2 years ago when the Mets determined they'd be sellers, Steve Cohen called a massive press conference at Citi Field on a late late June, July afternoon. I remember it was also hot as shit like it is outside right now in New York. But this is a little different. I even remember, and I think Brad Marchand, who does a lot of sports media work for The Athletic, said this. I remember this kind of interview, and we just saw it during all the Knicks shit. Like an owner sitting down at WFAN. But Steve Cohen going on a podcast, kind of a fascinating, even just play on this.
Yeah, and with reporters who are they're gonna ask some questions, and I was shocked at how much Steve Cohen said and answered, and I didn't particularly love that he answered some of them so candidly.
I also loved the way that Joel Sherman and John Heyman went about it. They didn't hold back any punches. Again, I don't know, maybe something about being in that room, but like, those guys were pretty critical of a lot of stuff. But honestly, everyone just loved Mendoza so much. Felt like they couldn't really ask him. Something about Carlos Mendoza, they just couldn't ask him tough questions.
I think he genuinely
Such
is
a
nice
nice
guy, and you could tell that like he was eating away at him. And you even heard Steve Cohen talk about that part of the reason why him and David Stearns decided to move on from Mendoza was because they weren't going to extend him at the end of the year. They already made the decision he's not coming back. And I think Steve Cohen said, let's just give this guy a break.
Oh, he called it a mercy shot.
Yeah. And we've
him
talked
saying
about
those
it too
words
on this podcast. We said, we're like, just let him go at this point. Why is he still here?
I flung back in my chair when he said that. I just couldn't believe it. But also, it does make sense. But I'd never expect the owner of your favorite baseball team to be that just forthright with words.
No, it was like, you're not coming back and you look miserable. We're doing this because it actually might make you have a better life.
A mercy shot is what you use to describe a horse that broke its leg.
Yeah,
like that's
into glue.
It's a horrible thing to say about a guy, but again, it makes sense when you do it. But I also thought there was a cool moment. Again, we're just going to grab little pieces of this that we thought were interesting. He talked about specifically being a hands-off guy, not wanting to be an evasive owner, seeing that owners in other sports, baseballs, other sports, whatever, jumping a little too much into things and holding their teams back over the years. But then he said, with the team playing so poorly this year and them not expecting it to be this bad, he basically hinted that there's going to be some kind of serious internal audit. And then Joel asked him to reiterate later on, like, what does that mean? Are you doing this? Are you hiring an outside firm? And then Steve was like, I'm just going to have my people do it. We're going to handle it.
Which is
but
interesting.
That's kind of a gray line for Steve because when he says my people, he has another massive business that he runs.
Yes.
Like, are we sicking the quants?
Ran.
Yeah, on all this stuff.
It's a lot of the conversation was weird. Like even how candid he was about the organizational failures that he had, but then also giving David Stearns the vote of confidence that he will finish his 5 years. And I do believe that no matter what, David Stearns is going to finish the 5 years. I actually don't think that there's going to be a world where he fires him, especially when the Mets have openly said they're worried about optics. And now you have the owner saying you're not going to fire him. Would be a bad look if you did after publicly saying you won't be.
And Cohen mentioned that specifically because later on, again, Joel pushed back. They were like, really? Like, is that what you meant? You're just getting the full 5 years? And then Steve went on a whole thing about all the blame he's getting right now. He needs to get credit for 24. He's like, I talk to David every day. He did a lot of comments about process, which we'll get to in a second. But he talked specifically about, he said the burn insurance is a terrible place to be. And we did that for a lot of years. And these are the kind of things that have been trickling out a little bit from people who are involved with the team but not involved with the team, that this is not something the team likes, that it's their view. And then Steve said specifically, then next time, nobody wants to come.
Yeah.
But then he said the opposite later about the manager, where he said, I wrote it down specifically because I want to get his words there. Where is it?
I mean, the Mets have already publicly had a lot of people throw their hat in the ring. And Alex Cora seemed to also kind of also throwing out his name as like, I'd come coach the Mets.
He basically was like, yeah, tons of people are going to want to get this job. So, but that is something about where baseball is, where, and this ties into all this nonsense with Eric Chavez stuff too, where it's like, yeah, I could find a manager, but the president of baseball operations who I actually trust and like the process. And again, he talked about finance things, like how variance can affect things when you have good process, and he likes the process better than the results. He specifically mentioned the Mets' record in one-run games as the fact that we have the worst, the Phillies have the best. Look how different our seasons have gone just because of something that the data would tell you is partially random. But then you also mentioned the fact that when the game's on the line, our guys are not performing. Maybe they get anxious.
Just a little bit. It seems like
he said that specifically.
And what's so funny is that normally when you hear that stat about one-run games, it automatically goes to the bullpen. Not the bullpen's fault.
Bullpen's awesome.
It's all the offense. The bats are simply not showing up whenever the game gets close.
And that also could tie into this thing we've talked about a lot over the last year, where it's like, how are you going to know if someone's ready for New York? Like, Steve talked about these guys being human beings. There being more pressure in New York. Coming to New York matters. It's a real thing. And it's a difficult thing to track, especially said when these guys come on big money, short-term deals. He's like, he mentioned like something offhand about maybe playing into their projections that they have to like lop off like the first half of like the first season of some of these contracts production-wise.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it with Lindor. We saw it with Soto. We've seen it with Carlos Beltran. You saw it with Mike Piazza. Like, throughout the history of New York big contracts, I mean, didn't even A-Rod start off slow with the Yankees at first? Like, wasn't it like, I mean, he was still incredible, but like, it was a little bit slower. People didn't love him at the start. I think that there's definitely an adjustment period. And when we spoke to Carlos Beltran all those years ago and talked about his first season in New York, he said that there's an unbelievable amount of pressure and also feels like an obligation to be involved so much because there's so much going on all the time.
Yes, and there's no way to really prepare somebody for that because there's no real other media market like this. Even, I mean, Boston, Philly, incredibly comparable, but I still think they are like just 90% of what this is.
In terms of like, I feel like the sheer amount of even just reporters that could be at your locker after every game, there is nobody even close to New York. The Dodgers are close now because of Ohtani and the Japan thing and all that. But
when Kyle Tucker signs that contract, the reporters don't care about him.
Of course not. Absolutely not. But
and he's still struggling in his deal.
Yeah, he's playing like absolute shit right now. So like, there is no place like New York, and especially when the Yankees are always really good. There's no place like the New York Mets because as soon as there's even just an inkling of doom, gloom, or turmoil, it's just jumped down your throats. It feels like there might be more reporters at Met games daily than sometimes Yankee games.
I feel like based on just the reporters we can name, there's probably 17 there every single day.
I don't particularly know a lot of Yankee beat writers, and that's one of the most popular teams in baseball. Things are good over there.
Well, it's also because we don't have to.
Yeah, but we also are kind of locked into like everything that's going on in the league. It's not as much as the Mets, but
kind of. But like besides the guys who write for the Athletic, because that's what I read. Like it's hard for I don't know who does the cover the Yankees for the Post.
I know like I haven't.
Well, I mean Gary Phillips, Bob Clapfish, legends. They'll be there forever.
Sherman and Heyman, of course, but
those are our guys. Those guys. I mean, those guys can't get away from this team.
That's what I'm saying.
Something else that was fascinating about this, I think honestly kind of nice. I don't know what other people are going to think about this, but how comfortable these guys seem talking to Steve Cohen. And I think that's something that's missed on us fans, which they led the show with. That people are like, Steve has to address us. He's hiding. They're like, you don't hide. They're like, you're at every game. Like, we see you. We talk to you all the time. They're like, the day Mendoza got fired, you were talking to us like off the record right there. Like on the dirt during batting practice.
Well, the problem is I think he hid from the public. I don't think he hid from the reporters and stuff like that. Which
his friends.
Yeah, I mean, he does like talking to the New York Post. I think he reads that pretty religiously.
It seems like he does love the New York Post. But I think that's a very interesting relationship for us fans to see from the outside. And then when you have this big expose, tell all, seemingly I'm sure just because of who Steve Cohen is, he had to have gotten these questions beforehand. He had to have. There's no way. But like it did feel very casual. This felt like three dudes in their twilight years kicking it.
Yeah, just hanging out, and it just happened to have a camera on, which is rare for Sherman and Heyman.
And they podcast Mog Us because they have their video on Spotify.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
We are getting podcast mocked by a bunch of 70-year-olds.
Major podcast. I mean, sure, they ask great questions. I also think, again,
they do great reporting when they report.
The fact that they needled in a little bit on the Lindor Soto thing, and it got to a spot where it seemed to agitate Cohen enough where he accidentally said one of the worst possible things he ever could have said.
Hated that.
And just in case you guys, again, didn't tune into the entire 51 minutes of the show, but I would recommend, I rarely recommend a different podcast on this show. I think everybody should.
The Shiano stamp of approval.
Bang, Shiano stamp of approval. There was so much good stuff on this. Like, Steve, I mean, we'll get to this other Lindor stuff in a second. He said he still follows Pete and him on the box score every day.
I believe it. He likes him as people. He just didn't sign him.
And he also specifically is like, people killing those decisions, let's let the time go and see how they should be evaluated. He said we want more data than information.
He also talked a lot about how they still don't feel like they have the organizational mobility because of long-term contracts that they want to get off of, and also because the minor leagues, young guys have underperformed or have been injured this year, which was something that he said he's quite disappointed in.
He said specifically our minor leagues have regressed, but then he also gave the credit to how many young players are on this roster and are performing well, which I think that is a piece of this too.
Yeah, people are like really playing up the MLB pipeline thing that the Mets only had Jonah Tong on there and nobody else. We did graduate a bunch of dudes like right now.
Yeah, and like think about, I'll pull up our roster resource for a second just because of this. And again, also people will pull up that our average age on Baseball Reference is one of the highest in the league. But at the same time, like Nolan McLean, AJ Ewing, Carson Bench are like disgusting building blocks. And Juan Soto will only be 28 when next season begins.
Yes.
whatever you want to say about Francisco Alvarez, there's lots of teams in Major League Baseball that would take him if you gave him away, in which case we're not going to give him away.
Should not be.
I think we're really starting to actually get close to the point where an extension actually will come into focus for Francisco Alvarez, which would be so funny how that's taken in by fans. But he's not even 25. Soto's not even 28. Benj is 23. Ewing is 21. He's turning 22 next month.
Yep.
And again, not going to talk about the other young guys there, but
No.
McLean, Christian Scott are both going to be in this rotation for a very long time. And again, I would like more young talent.
Yes.
But that is a good chunk of young talent, 28 years old and under, on the Major League roster.
There's a core being built there.
Yeah, it's a relative core being built. Who the next piece of that core are going to be, not totally sure.
Not
but
quite sure.
Okay. Now Lindor and Soto.
Yes. Steve Cohen's comments. I wish he kept his fucking mouth shut because he just confirmed that there was issues last year between them.
He did. He confirmed it. He said he believes strongly that Lindor and Soto are getting along much better. And then he lamented the fact that Sherman asked a question about the clubhouse chemistry because he said that was last year's story.
I mean, positive spin. Spin zone, not a
Good.
problem this year. Not
It's
an
better.
issue at all. Seems like it's okay.
Two things that are not an issue. Bo Bichette's defense at third base, Juan Soto and Francisco Lindor are friends. Also,
Yeah.
you know what? They haven't spent that much time together.
No, they really haven't. That could also be part of it. But
14 games now officially. I think.
negative spin zone seems like there was an issue last year. Who's that a bigger smudge on, Lindor or Soto?
Or Carlos Mendoza.
Or Carlos Mendoza.
Or David
which
Stearns, Steve Cohen. I think it's a bad look on all of them.
saw this in our comment section. We didn't even talk about it, how Chavez would talk about seemingly how often he would go over Carlos Mendoza's head for things.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Great leader, Carlos Mendoza. That's why he was the wrong guy. Shouldn't have been fired, right? But yet all his coaches consistently go over his head.
Yeah, Eric Chavez sending emails to the entire organization and then questioning David Stearns as to why Juan Soto gets special treatment.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And again, but I also, we talked about this from Francisco Lindor's perspective. When this guy comes in, he's making twice as much money as you. You had just led this team to the best finish they've had in a decade.
And now all of a sudden the biggest ovation on opening day is the new guy who was playing across town and then also for a division rival and would beat the piss out of you.
And now all of a sudden he gets special treatment. He's not asked to be a leader, even though he makes double the money and he's one of the best players in baseball. But all this pressure's on you with the media and everything you have to do with the young players. And then in the middle of that season, your owner, the guy we're talking about right now, publicly says there will never be a captain while he's the owner of this team, while there was a leaked video that looked like it showed that they were going to turn over captaincy from David Wright to Francisco Lindor in July.
And knowing that Juan Soto might have been a little bit mopey about making $750 million with the New York Mets over the first month.
Oh, no. I don't want to make my $700 million.
I can connect the dots.
It does seem like there was some, and again, also the Adam Ottavino think about Nimmo being like, why am I not the captain? I'm sure Pete was like, why am I not the captain? Doesn't seem like it was a good clubhouse last year.
No, seems like it was a mess.
Yeah. Some other funny things here. Sherman was right up front with him about CBA stuff.
Yeah, and Cohen, I liked his answer. He said, whatever the rules are, we'll play by them. It doesn't matter to me.
He goes, I'm a league first guy. And then Sherman's like, don't you feel mad that you spent this much money on this team? Now you can't play by the rules you thought you were going to play with? He's like, hey, man. And then Cohen gave another great comment early. He was like, my life's going great except for one thing. So I feel sometimes.
Yeah, no, I mean, honestly, life is great except for the New York Mets.
Except for one thing.
Knicks won the NBA Finals.
God, I did a JFK driving back today, one of the worst things you could ever do in New York. But driving through driving through residential Queens, I couldn't believe how many Knicks flags were on porches.
Of course, let's go Knicks.
One more thing that he said is, I think he was trying to build a little bit of an arm's length between him and Stearns.
Yeah, I think so.
He made a comment about the regression in the farm system this year and said, people tell me development's not linear.
Yes.
That's like, oh, okay.
I mean, that's also, I feel like he's a little tongue-in-cheek, too, because, like, Cohen knows that he's not a baseball guy. So he's like, I have people telling me that it's not linear. I think that's, he loves to stir the pot, too, Steve Cohen. He's a troll.
A little bit of a provocateur. He mentioned the incident with fans on Twitter. He's like, yeah, once the anti-Semitic things get thrown around, I'm probably going to turn the app off.
That's fair. I wouldn't want to have to deal with that either if I was Jewish.
No, and he mentioned the fan getting kicked out on Friday nights with the fire starting.
What did he say? I didn't hear that.
He said, where is it? Right here. Supposedly the person was belligerent. I wasn't there. That's what my people told me. Suppose this person was belligerent. You can have any sign, do whatever you want, but if you're ruining someone else's time at the ballpark, then someone's going to have to step in.
Yeah, I mean, we know about another person that was on social media that has been belligerent at games and thrown out, and then the stories move based on that guy's point of view. So
Yeah, it could definitely change a lot. But again, that's all. I don't think that the Mets are heavily censoring this kind of stuff.
I'd be shocked.
Usually and this is actually happening right now in baseball in a very different context, but usually when there's a dilemma and the two options are someone being really awful and someone just being really stupid, most times it's the stupid and not the really awful. Sometimes it is the awful, of course. But
Can be.
Yeah, it definitely can be. Don't ignore that there's other things that are coming into play, but that's most likely what happened here.
I think that's pretty much it for the show, right?
Yeah, I think that's it for the show.
Yeah, I love how forward Steve Cohen will be. I also hate it sometimes. But I guess that's what happens when your owner is so candid to the media. Really wish that Lindor Soto thing never came out, though. I wish we just kept that to ourselves. We all kind of thought it.
So in the last week now, Juanzo is going to have to answer questions about his relationship with Francisco Lindor getting better and the special treatment that he allegedly received that was mouthed off by his former co-hitting coach.
Loved his response when he got asked about it.
I
heard about it, no comment. He's like, go fuck yourself, Eric Chavez. No one's dug themselves a bigger hole than Eric Chavez over the past week, though. That's for sure. He'll never work in Major League Baseball again.
Absolutely will never work in Major League Baseball again. I don't even know if he could work for like a college team at this point.
It seems like he might be coaching his kids if they're still that young.
But as long as Chris Hamblin's around, they're gonna find success.
Did you watch him sing the Star Spangled Banner?
It's sensational.
I mean, voice of an angel. That's the voice of a generation. Michael Jackson, Move Over. There. Chris Hamblin, Songbird.
It's 2 more minutes here to give you guys something positive to hang your hats on. Nolan McClain looked good.
The spinners were spinning.
The curveball was spinning. The sweeper was still kind of all over the place, but the curveball was back finally.
What's his arm angle? Is it a little bit sloppy? Because it seems like the slider is getting a little slurvy, if that makes sense.
More drop on it?
It's not necessarily that's more drop, but I think that even maybe that the way that he's releasing it could be different because
in this game
not
he was
as
getting
tight.
Less drop on it. It was lifting more. So I think that could be a symptom of him dropping the arm angle a little lower. Yeah, that could be the case again. Or maybe that's an issue where he has the curveball because he kind of gets under that curveball too because that curveball that curveball's slurvy.
Yeah,
it's very too planey. But he attacked the zone. A lot of guys in this Blue Jays team seemed like they struggle with fastballs. He didn't really have an issue throwing them, especially late in the count. He got some strikeouts with them. He just looked like a dog on the mound. Again, this year is about taking things with us and something to take with us. Hopefully, it's Nolan McClain being great.
Love the mustache.
Mustache was great. Dog move.
Love the mustache. I mean, that's something that we've talked about a lot before where it's like you see a guy shave his head, you see a guy shave the beard, whatever it is.
Change something up.
Change something up because it ain't working. And I think McClain kind of said the same thing. He goes, I thought it looked good, but honestly, it really matters how I played, and I played pretty good.
Yeah. Another funny thing here. Again, taking something with us. AJ Ewing just continues to impress me every single day.
So good.
With how he plays. We've also gotten the hint, I don't know if you heard it the other night, that with Luis Robert coming through AAA, AJ Ewing, they said since he came to the league and while he was in AAA this year, has been taking ground balls at second base.
Love that. Really like that. But his arm is so good in the outfield that I don't necessarily know if I want to lose it, which...
Got to turn double plays.
I mean, got to turn double plays, but it feels like, truthfully, the best way to go about it, right, is... I mean, Luis Robert's going to play still maybe 3 times a week just because the injury stuff where you got to trade him. And then also at the same time, like Ewing in left, Robert in center, Benj in right, DH Soto for the time being.
Talking to me, I'm fine with that. You know who else? I would even tell Juan Soto, you see that glove over there with the rounded edge just a little bit longer? Why don't you try one of those on? Yeah. Why don't we just rip this Band-Aid off and give that a shot at some point? Again, he's been slightly below average in the outfield this year. Don't look at the first play. It happened on Monday, but... You don't really want to do that with your investment. He might not want to change positions yet, and clearly he's getting some special treatment in this organization, so we can't really do much about that. But specifically about Ewing, despite him having like a decent series with the bat again, bringing up those season averages way up, that at bat he took against Louis Varland in the game on Monday, especially juxtaposed to 2 guys who were in this organization for a very long time.
Might not be in it much longer.
Mark Vientos and Ronnie Mauricio, who had no fucking chance whatsoever. Ronnie Mauricio, he struck out 3 pitches, maybe it was 4. He was like, I am swinging right here. I will not adjust. I will not change my mind. You can clearly tell when the game is too fast for a guy like Ronnie Mauricio.
Which is often.
Yes. AJ Ewing, after he got blown away by the first pitch, he immediately stepped out and regathered himself.
Yes.
Ronnie Mauricio got put down 0-2, and he just and he didn't step out. He didn't call time. He just let the third pitch happen to him. Clear sign of a guy who somehow is still not ready.
Yeah, he's bad.
Yeah.
He's not. I have officially lost hope in Ronnie Mauricio. It's just not going to happen here.
No. Wow, Belgium scored the goal. Extra time and won.
Wow, they beat Senegal?
They scored 286 and 88th.
I know, it's a team that really was on its last legs there. They looked horrible the entire World Cup. Not a World Cup podcast, baseball podcast.
I just popped up inside my Twitter. I was just like shocked by it. But seeing AJ Ewing be able to take those very, very professional plate appearances against statistically the best closer in the league this year, but you wouldn't know, in Louis Varland, it's really cool to see, really encouraging. Steve mentioned it too. He mentioned sometimes you don't know when the next great prospect is going to pop out of nowhere. I think he was kind of alluding to Ewing.
Probably, yeah.
Or maybe Clynell Ramirez in the DSL right now. Who knows? But if Steve's locked in there, but that's interesting. I also do want to call out something happening in baseball that it coincides with Freddie Peralta sucking. It's not the reason Freddie Peralta sucking, but the baseball is different right now. We've been getting 2019 baseballs for the last 4 weeks. Saris did some good reporting on it. I think a guy named Sean Zellin with Action Network did something on it as well.
I saw that, yes.
And Major League Baseball commented like, "Yeah, we don't know why."
They said the manufacturers that there's an inconsistency in the manufacturing. And I go, why are there so many inconsistencies?
Somehow the inconsistency has been very consistent, though, and it means the ball's flying out. Even that Sean Keyes home run today, that wasn't a fucking home run. That was bullshit.
That one, it looked like he flared it at first, like caught the barrel, but like he didn't.
It was 2019 home run.
Yeah, that was a 2019 home run. It was almost like the Scott Kingery home run where he got jammed and it went out to right field.
So again, not the reason. It's been a bad stretch for both Nolan McClain and Freddie Peralta. Not the reason,
Paul
but definitely
too.
And Paul Skeens definitely making things. I think Chris Sale's had a couple of not the best starts ever. That Braves team
stinking it up.
It's time.
It might be. Might be time for our series preview. Big shout out, of course. Today's episode of Mets'd Up is brought to you by FanDuel. Baseball fans, the MLB season is in full swing, and FanDuel is giving you a chance to call your shot with daily dingers. Joining the action is easy. Just make your free pick on who's hitting a home run in their game, and if you're right, you'll get a profit boost to use on your next bet for a chance at extra winnings. It's just another reason why FanDuel is the home of home runs. James, who are we looking at this weekend against the Atlanta Braves?
Well, this weekend, I'm going to pull up the pitching matchups for you guys in a second so we can figure out which again, Braves team struggling right now, but which Mets pitcher is going to get the longest home run for Matt Olson hit off? Christian Scott does struggle against lefties.
It's always the pick's Matt Olson. That's the obvious one.
Matt Olson's going to crush.
And Juan Soto.
Maybe Ozzy Albies. He loves to kill us, and he's playing better this year.
See Lindor on there. He's been hitting home runs, and he's swinging the bat better. Loves playing in Atlanta.
Loves playing in Atlanta. Yeah, so honestly, Mets and Braves, let's play some ball. Who cares?
So you ready to play your game? Head over to FanDuel.com/podcast to get started. That's FanDuel.com/podcast to opt in for daily dingers and make your free pick on who's hitting a homer. Play ball and swing for the fences on FanDuel, an official partner of Major League Baseball.
No purchase necessary. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call or text 1-800-GAMBLER.
Two teams, Mets and Braves, in tremendous amounts of flux right now. The Braves are finally kind of coming back down to earth in a way where they're only 2.5 games as of recording up on the Philadelphia Phillies in the division.
Which is kind of crazy.
I don't hear anyone in the media going crazy about the Braves blowing a 12-game lead inside of the first half. I remember once a 10-game lead over the course of 3.5 months being blown.
Well, James, it's because they're not the Mets. Did you forget that? It's because their record is still good.
I did forget that. So let's go back all the way 3 weeks. The Braves got swept 2 games to the White Sox. If you remember, lost a series to the Mets.
Well, we were in free fall.
Got swept 2 games against the Giants, 2 rainouts in there. Won a series against the Brewers. Swept by the Padres. Lost a series to the Giants.
Lost bad teams.
Yes. Lost to the Cardinals yesterday, playing them again tonight, playing them again tomorrow.
Man, so since June 1st, basically, I think they've been one of the worst teams in baseball in the month of June. I think it's been the Reds, the Mets, and the Braves.
Absolutely one of the worst teams in baseball since the beginning of June.
Hate to see it. Hope we can continue that, because even though our season's over, I would love to play spoiler and just completely fuck the Braves.
But then we help the Phillies, so again, it doesn't really matter. The best outcome here, the most amicable thing we can do is go split 2-2.
No, win them all. Win them all. It's okay.
Yeah, you're right. Win them all.
Win them all. Take them down when we get the opportunity.
Look what the Red Sox just did this past weekend against the Yankees. Just beat your rival.
Got
and
Aaron
make your
Judge
fans
to step up and say something.
I mean, well, there was a fight, there was a mess, there was a whole convoluted array of errors. But as of right now, the pitching matchups, we're going to have to throw someone else into this slot this weekend. I don't know who it's going to be. It's going to be Christian Scott Friday and probably Sean Manaea Saturday or Sunday. Past that, I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen.
I don't think
Zach Thornton was sent down.
Sure.
Zach Thornton was sent down. He would have made sense. Tobias Myers probably gets bulk innings here at some point because he last pitched. That was Monday.
Maybe. Kodai Senga's
Yeah.
going to get some innings at some point.
Yeah, Clay Sangs can get some innings at some point. I mean, Nolan McLean will pitch also Sunday or Monday. I mean, so it's Nolan McLean probably pitches Sunday because that's his 5th day. We're going to have to fill it out. And then, I don't know, Wednesday, Monday. I guess if everyone stays on track, we'll get Scott, Minaya, McLean, Freddie Peralta with the off day. And if we get those 4 guys, let's beat the Braves. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, let's beat them. That's what I like. Again, we're going to be watching these games, and I've enjoyed watching the Mets again, not because it's fun baseball, but because I have a different perspective on the season now. I'm not getting upset when they lose. Like, Freddie Peralta stunk. Wow, this guy stinks. I'm mad because it's going to hurt his trade value, but at the same time, don't care. The season's over. I'm not like, we're almost back in it. That's why, like, the fake rage I'm seeing on Twitter from people is absolutely insane right now.
No, it's hard to live like that, honestly.
Yeah, like life is worth living, and watching the Mets getting mad on July 1st when there's 16 games under 500 just ain't it. But I am going to take some solace in if we beat the Braves. I can't wait. I hope we beat the Braves. I'm excited to beat the Braves. We just took a series off them, and they're playing bad baseball. And when you look at this lineup, the glass cannon thing is happening right now where Matt Olson's incredible. Mauricio Dubon's been incredible. He's 5 home runs in the month of June. That's absolutely insane. The rest of this lineup is ice cold.
You can't waste the Mauricio Dubon month if you're the Braves. You can't do it.
No, it's kind of crazy that they have because, I mean, looking at this, Mike Yastrzemski's completely been toast. Dom Smith has been absolutely toast. Austin Riley fall-off needs to be studied.
Yeah, there's not enough conversations about that, I feel like.
There's not enough conversation about the fucking Braves.
We're going 3 years now where Austin Riley has barely been able to get his head above average as a major league average hitter. And now this year, he's one of the worst hitters in baseball statistically. Like, he's flirting with Brett Beatty numbers at the plate. And that's at the same time his in-zone swing and miss is kind of shooting up like a rock. His zone swing rate is falling. It's a very strange situation. Drake Baldwin has been cold since coming off the injured list. Michael Harris had a great bounce-back season. Reynaldo Lopez is back, and he's on the mound right now. I see guys on base in the first inning against him. He was poor in his return last week as well.
Ass.
That everyone knew Bryce Elder was going to wind up being ass.
Not Greg Maddux, no.
It was the easiest call of all time right there. And like this thing's been held together by Martin Perez.
He's been
money. Fucking awesome.
Yeah, 4.2 ERA over 25 innings in the month of June is huge for Martin Perez.
July 5th, Sunday. What time's our game with them Sunday? Peacock 12:30. Wow. So Sunday, but also series ending on Monday. So we probably just Mark and I take the 4th of July this weekend.
Yes.
Get you guys a podcast. Yeah, Tuesday morning we're getting a podcast to you guys because we're going to wait for this entire series to end. Unless something else crazy happens, then maybe we'll do an emergency. But so that means Sunday, the slate, 12:30 Mets Braves with all the baseball starting at 1:40, 4 o'clock Brazil Norway, 8 o'clock England Mexico.
Let's go, James. Hey, you got the England kit on right now.
Way England.
Is it coming home?
Yeah, she doesn't listen to this podcast. No way. But we're gonna cheer her ass off until it gets there.
Yeah, I mean, let's go Portugal. That's who I'm rooting for. So
they play tomorrow, right?
Play tomorrow. Yeah, it's a big game.
Yeah. Also at noon, right?
No, they play at 7, I think.
Oh, okay.
Late night game for that. But that's all we got, right? We got Frankie Peppers.
Yeah, probably got Frankie.
Let's see what Frankie's got for us.
I just want to have some fun watching baseball again.
4th of July. I'm excited to enjoy watching the Mets with some beers in the pool.
Yeah, we're gonna have the average the annual Shiano Bash on the 4th of July. Wow, my phone's only 3%. Yikes,
3%.
But I'm running around today.
Might be cutting off Frankie here.
Nah, we got Frankie. Also, just want to let you guys know. Shout out. We're talking about Mets, Carlos Mendoza before. Horrible tragedy in Venezuela last week. There are lots of entry points for donations around New York. I know specifically there's a great Venezuelan restaurant that Mark and I both love, Casa Ora.
Oh, so good.
They are running a massive donation box every single day at their sister cafe Lula on Graham Avenue. If anyone lives anywhere in North Brooklyn, great time to donate some canned goods, blankets, shirts, anything.
Yes, shout out Venezuela.
Here comes Frankie.
Gentlemen, this is Frankie Peppers. How you doing? I'm still at work. I'm being worked to the bone today, gentlemen.
Frank, no.
And just like the New York Mets keep getting worked to the bone because they keep losing games. So here's Frankie's hot sauce take for the day. The Blue Jays deserve to win today because it was canned of the day. All right, boys. I hope you have a happy 4th of July. I don't know if I'm going to speak to you before then. Don't blow off any limbs or fingers or toes with fireworks. My hot take is that my second hot take is that just go to a fireworks show or go far away enough where you can have some ice cream and watch fireworks. Don't go to the fireworks show. There's too many cars. All right, gentlemen, take care. Let's go Mets, I suppose.
I'm with Frankie. Love watching a firework. Don't care to set them off.
Yeah, did you ever have a phase?
No, I was never a pyro kid.
I had a little phase.
I could see that.
Yeah, between the ages of like 13 to 15-ish, 13, 8th grade, freshman year of high school, I had a little firework phase.
I don't know why or how, but I was terrified that I was going to be the one who got their hand blown off.
There was a dude who lived on my block who somehow had access to tons of fireworks, and it was too cheap to resist.
That's fair. But yeah, not for me. I like watching them, not sending them off. That's it, guys. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching Mets'd Up Podcast. Subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Google, Spotify, wherever you get them. Download, give us a review. You can follow James on social media at
Jim Shiano.
And I'm Draftneck Mark. Catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.
Peace out, guys. Let's go, Mets.